It's been over 2 years since the PS5 was released, and it's still one of the major AAA consoles to get. Now, not everyone was lucky to grab one during launch due to stock issues, but now that they're back in stock, is the PS5 still worth buying nearly 3 years after its release? Hi guys, my name is Manny Rataul, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the PS5, looking at the gaming, the technical specifications, and other considerations that you might want to make before buying this console. And like always, I'm going to give you my honest review and opinion on whether or not if this is the right console for you. Now, I'm going to start off with the PS5 console that I purchased. It is the one with the disc drive. It's actually the God of War bundle. I actually made an unboxing video you can check right here. But this console setup came up with the God of War game, which was the digital download, not a physical disc. And it also came with an extra red controller that matches the God of War theme settings, which is quite honestly a really cool color to have with the PS5. Now, of course, with this bundle, you get the PS5 console itself. You also get one standard controller, which is white, that matches the faceplates of the PS5. You get an HDMI cord, and you get a power cable to connect and give power to your PS5. And one of the best things about the PS5 and the Xboxes nowadays is that there's no power brick. Everything is integrated into the PS5 console, so it does save you a lot of space without having to carry that large cable around everywhere you go. Now, another thing that comes with the PS5, whether it's the digital or the disc version, is a stand. So behind me you can see that the PS5 is standing up, but you can also use the stand to lay it horizontally, but I'll talk more about the stand later in the video. Now, before we jump into the gaming of the PS5, I just want to address the stock issues that have plagued this thing for over 2 years now. This was launched in November of 2020, and immediately with the pandemic and supply chain issues, these things flew off the shelves and Sony just couldn't keep up with production. And you had scalpers selling these PS5s for sometimes over 3 times the MSRP. Now, with the recording time of the video at July of 2023, stock issues are non-existent. Pretty much any retailer like Best Buy, Target, Walmart, even online retailers like Amazon, you can get both the disc and discless versions readily available. So if you were worried about not getting your hands on a PS5, you don't have to worry about in today's climate here. Okay, let's get into the gaming of the PS5 because that's why you clicked on this video. I'm going to start out with the technical specifications. It has an AMD 8-core CPU and an AMD GPU. These are pretty much identical GPUs to the Xbox Series X. It has 10.4 teraflops of processing power. All that really means is this thing is amazing. And guys, if you're enjoying today's video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, one of the biggest downsides to any brand new console at launch is a limited number of games available. Now that it's been over 3 years since launch, the PS5 has an extensive library, and you can actually access most of this library using PlayStation Plus. Now, PlayStation Plus, just like Xbox's Game Pass, is a pay-to-use subscription. You can sign up monthly or annually, and this gives you access to a whole library of games that you can download onto your PS5 with unlimited number of downloads every month. You also get access to 3 AAA titles that are released every month. Last month, in June of 2023, I got NBA 2K23, and this month I was lucky enough to get Call of Duty, which is awesome, so I'm really looking forward to next month's games. You also get online features like multiplayer, as well as a whole slew of other exclusives like exclusive deals. So games that are launched that may not be available on PlayStation Plus, but you can get at a discount if you're a member. So some of these features are worth having. I have PlayStation Plus, and I recommend anyone that buys a PS5 to get this feature to maximize its capabilities. Now, speaking of the capabilities, the PS5 is an absolute beast. Jumping up from a PS4 to PS5 is truly next generation. I'm talking about 4K, 60 FPS, a lot of even up to 120 FPS if you have the TV and the monitor to do that. Now, most of my games I play on a 1440p monitor, but they just look absolutely phenomenal, and I never have a slowdown in frame rate no matter what title I'm playing. It's actually quite phenomenal how much power the PS5 has. It pretty much is a gaming PC with the face of a PlayStation and a gaming console, so it's actually amazing. I've been able to play games like Call of Duty, Stray, God of War, and the visuals and the contrast and everything is just so amazing. So this is one of the few times where your gaming capabilities and the gaming experience you get is not limited by the console, but it'll be limited by the screen, the monitor, or the TV you decide to have. So do take that into consideration that if you want to maximize the capabilities of the PS5, because it even supports 8K, it all depends on what kind of setup you have in order to output these games. But no matter what monitor or TV you have, this PS5 will play these games without any issues whatsoever. Now, one of the biggest questions and concerns people have is, well, does the disc version have better processing power than the digital version? And the answer is actually no. It has the same CPU and the same GPU, The only difference is that the digital version is going to be a little bit lighter and it won't have the Blu-ray disc drive. But as terms of gameplay and output, you're going to get the exact same product. Before we get into the design of the PS5, I'd like to thank NordLocker Business for sponsoring today's video. NordLocker Business allows you to secure your business's data using end-to-end encryption using cloud-based technology. Ransomware and malware attacks by cybercriminals has been on the rise, and one of the top 5 countries currently facing the situation are the US, Canada, Germany, France, and the UK, with over 46% of these attacks happening on US soil. NordLocker Business gives your business a safe environment to not only transfer data, but also store it securely and manage it and share it within your team without having to worry about these issues. No matter what kind of field of business you're in, small or large, NordLocker Business will work for you. NordLocker Business gives you ultimate privacy. Even NordLocker doesn't know what you keep within your secure vault. It has impenetrable security with features such as 256-bit encryption and top-of-the-line cryptography. It is simple to use with a drag and drop type interface, and it's super accessible, meaning you can manage and encrypt your files on the go with NordLocker's app or web extensions on Chrome or any browser you choose to. Keeping your business safe is only a click away, and you can get a 3-month trial using the promo code Manny Rataul and the link in the description and the pinned comment. Now, in terms of the PS5 design, it's actually pretty cool. It's one of the most unique looking consoles out there. It's also one of the heaviest ones. It weighs over 10 pounds, but it really doesn't matter because you're not going to be moving it too much. It's actually quite large too, much larger than the PS4 and the PS3. Now, it comes with a great set of ports. So on the front, you get a USB 3.2 USB as well as a USB 4. So Thunderbolt or anything else will fit in here, which is awesome for external SSDs. On the back, you have 2 more additional USB 3.2 ports, an HDMI port, as well as a power port, and that's it. It's a very clean console all around, and the front comes with 2 buttons. You got a power button as well as an ejector button for the PS5s with the Blu-ray disc drive. So one of the reasons why the gaming on the PS5 is so incredible is not just because it has a great CPU and GPU, it's because of the controller, and the controller is actually such an upgrade from the PS4. So this is the controller here, and if you compare it to the PS4, it has actually gotten a little bit bigger and it is slightly thicker too. So gripping this controller in the hands is actually a lot more comfortable than the previous version of the PS4s. This is almost similar to the Xbox controller, and one of the reasons why I love the Xbox console so much is that I could game for hours without having any strain in my hands. I have the exact same experience with this. Now this is amazing because it comes with a USB-C connector, so you can charge and play games at the same time, and it has an integrated battery, so you don't need AA batteries like the Xbox controller, so there is a big advantage. Now the absolute coolest thing about these controllers are the adaptive triggers, meaning they adapt to the game that you're playing, and how difficult it is to push them changes based on the scenario. So for example, when I'm playing Call of Duty or any shooter in particular, when you're pulling the R2 trigger, at one point it gets very difficult to press, and then all of a sudden it goes flat, just to mimic a real world situation of pulling a trigger of a gun. And I think that's just so cool. You can actually adjust the settings on how much you want these adaptive triggers to be sensitive, so you can make them easier to push or harder to push, all in the DualSense settings in the PlayStation 5 menu. But it's just these small incremental changes from the previous generation that takes the PS5 to the higher level. Now, in terms of backwards compatibility, the PS5 is able to play PS4 disc games, but it cannot play PS3 games or older generation of that. You can access those games through PlayStation Plus if you like. And one of the cool things is that if you've already purchased a game on a PS4 on your PlayStation Plus membership, it will get transferred over to you to the PS5, so you can keep those games, which is absolutely amazing, so you don't have to rebuy those games. Now, talking about the storage of the PS5, it's actually labeled as 825 gigabytes, but you only get 666 gigabytes of available storage. So do keep that in mind, because games these days, like Call of Duty, for example, take up 300 gigabytes, which is a lot. So games will fill up your storage quite easily. But one of the great things is you can get external storage, either through an NVMe, which is an internal based where you can take off the faceplates. I actually made an entire video on that. You can check it out here. Or you can plug in a hard drive and play your PS4 or PS5 games. But just note that storage is a little bit limited, and unfortunately with the game sizes going up and up and up, you will fill up on storage on your PS5 relatively quickly. Now, in terms of a multimedia device, the PS5 is just as good. If you do like consuming movies on a Blu-ray disc, the PS5 with the disc version will take it no problem. You can also download apps like Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Apple TV, and it will work just fine with up to 8K output when that is available for most videos. You can also plug and play USB sticks and play videos or music off of that, so it's actually very easy to use, and the interface is easy to navigate, so it's just like a smart TV integrated into a PS5. Now, an alternative to this version of the PS5, you can get the digital version. So the digital version, as the name applies, is a digital only console. It doesn't come with a physical disk drive. However, you still get USB ports, so you can still play games off an external storage drive. Now, I personally am a retro gamer, meaning I like to have physical copies of games, mainly because they're easy to share with friends and you don't have to worry about an online connection to access most of the games on PlayStation Plus. You can play offline quite easily. The other difference between the digital and disc drive is that the digital version is sometimes $150 cheaper, and it does come at a little bit of a slimmer build, and it is lighter. So if those are some considerations you want to make when purchasing the PS5, and if you feel like you don't really need the disc drive, then go with the cheaper option. Like I said, the gameplay and gaming capabilities are identical. You just don't get physical storage on a disc drive like the PS5 I have here. And now for the most important question, should you purchase a PS5? Now, when I purchased a PS5, I asked myself two questions. Number one, do I like the titles and games offered by Sony? Yes. And do my friends and my family play the PS5 online? And the answer to that was also yes. So it was an easy buy for me. Now, if you like the games and titles offered by Xbox and your friends play Xbox online, then go with the Xbox. Honestly, it really comes down to preference and what your gaming situation is like. Spec to spec, there really isn't much of a difference between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Same GPU and pretty much the same CPU as well, and even price-wise, it's almost identical in price. The one caveat and other consideration you might want to make is the Xbox Series S. Now the S is the cheaper younger brother of the Xbox Series X, however, you're limited to 1440p gaming and you don't get 60 and 120 FPS. If you want the top of the line next generation experience, then go with the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. I personally love this. I think this is one of the best purchases I've made this year, and I just have no regrets whatsoever. So at the end of the day, don't get mad at me. Your decision to purchase, whether it's an Xbox or PS5, comes to your opinion and your situation, but either or, you're gonna make a perfect decision. Now, once again, I do want to mention that this video was sponsored by No Larker Business. If you want to get 3-month free trial, then click on the description below and hit the link and use promo code Manny Rataul. And guys, that's it for today's video. If you genuinely liked this video and you found it informative, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I post weekly videos on tech and video gaming. So if you're interested in that content, I'm here to stay and you'll get more of it. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.